What is going on, you guys? AK40 Kevin here in the gamer heaven, and today I'm going to show you guys how to repair a broken 3.5mm headphone jack in an Xbox One controller. Let's do it. Alrighty boys, over here at the Stormtrooper desktop as always. Now, the items you're going to need, obviously a candidate controller with a broken 3.5mm headphone jack. You are going to need a T8 screwdriver and a T12, I believe this is. The smaller one that removes the chipset from the main board. And then you're also going to need a pry tool like this. You can get away with just using your fingernails, but if you have one of these, it is a lot easier to get your side shells off. There we go. But, I mean, the more you disassemble the controller, the looser these side plates are going to be, and you can just pop them off by hand like that. That's going to reveal your T8 screws. You have two in each hand grip there, and then you have one in the back of the battery cover. There may be a sticker here. Go ahead and remove that. Save the sticker if you want to replace it in order to not void your warranty. However, you know how I feel about warranties on a standard controller. It really doesn't matter that much because half the time they don't even honor them. Alright, so you are going to start by removing these 5 T8 screws. Alright, with your T8 screws removed, your faceplate's just going to pop off like that. Back shell as well. Alright. Go ahead and flip her over. And you are going to take your T12 screwdriver, which is the smaller tipped one, and you are going to remove these bolts, or these screws in the corner here to remove this board from the bottom board so you can pull out this 3.5mm headphone jack. Alright, with those screws removed, you're just going to go ahead and pry up on this board, and that is going to separate the main board from the secondary board here. It's a little bit easier if you can remove the bumper and triggers so they get out of the way, but honestly you can just pop out your 3.5 headphone jack like that. Alright, so I got a little dime bag here of extra 3.5mm headphone jacks, as I do build custom controllers, and a lot of times these come faulty or they basically come to me fucked up. So basically these metal prongs here get bent out of shape sometimes, so if you don't have extra headphone jacks, which I will have a link in the description below to where I purchased mine on Amazon, it is the best deal as far as bulk, because you get like 8 or 10 of these for, I don't know, like under 10 bucks. Anyway, but if you only have the one, you basically want to make sure that your metal prong in there is bent up just slightly to where it makes contact with the headphone jack, and then all of these prongs are basically sitting in these little troughs like that. Now, in order to reinstall it, what you're going to do is just basically drop it in this slot here, and it's going to sit with the metal arms upward like that. Then you're going to go ahead and re-sandwich the board back together. You're going to hear it click, you're going to feel it seat, and then you're going to take your 2 T12 screws and screw it back in. Secondary board mated with the main board, what we're going to go ahead and do is reassemble as we did before. Now make sure when you're sliding this back plate in here, this back shell, that these prongs for the battery tray slip in through these slots here, and it'll seat nice and easy like that. Also want to make sure that your triggers are seated inside the back shell so they actually, aren't rubbing or anything like that. Go ahead and return your front shell to its place of origin and screw in your T8 screws, pop your shells back on, and you got a working headphone jack, boys. Now, as I've told you guys in some of my other tutorial videos, as far as working on controllers, whether they be Xbox or PlayStation, or PC controllers for that matter, you're going to want to run some kind of a diagnostic check to make sure that what you did fixed the problem. Now, the easiest way to do this is if you own an Xbox, just plug in the headphone jack, make sure your chat settings are on, and you should be hearing some 12-year-old white kid call you the N-word immediately through the headphone jack, which is fantastic. But if you're on PC, unfortunately the Xbox Accessories app doesn't really allow you to check the headphone jack. I mean, obviously you can make sure all your buttons are working, you're not getting stick drift or anything like that. You can also configure your button mapping if you want to like swap the A-B or have Y be the D-pad or something like that. But you can launch Steam and plug in your headphone jacks, and that'll become a new audio output device for you. But I'm just going to go in my daughter's room, plug into her Xbox, and make sure that this is good to go. Alright guys, that is going to do it. Now, if you want to see plenty more tutorial videos on how to repair and customize controllers, everything from stick drift to changing face buttons, face plates, adding paddle systems, etc., just subscribe and I will keep the content rolling for you boys. Peace.